I am Ajay, personally welcoming and wishing you all to celebrate 74th Independence Day from my bottom of heart. I am pleased to invite you all to the distinctive program that ever held before. The ultimate meaning of celebrating Independence Day, which shows our Indian vigorous support for our country. I welcome our Miss Yasoda ma'am to address the gatherings. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ajay. Good day to one and all present here virtually for today's 74th Independence Day celebration. With the blessing of our Almighty, let us begin today's session. A very, very warm welcome to all the participants. I take immense pleasure in conducting such a virtual event which provokes patriotism among the younger generation. I'm sure that after this session, our students will be getting little more apprised with their self-caliber in due respect to patronize in celebrating such a patriotic day. According to me, education is the only way which educates the upcoming generation with the extensive patriotism through celebrating those events like Independence Day, Republic Day, etc. Our beloved children who voluntarily arose in awakening the importance of Independence Day and by impelling to know the sacrifice of all freedom fighters. With all due respect to the efforts of our children, we inspire to conduct this webinar, which is obviously dedicated to our freedom fighters. It is most appropriate to share our children's perception towards our Independence Day. In this great event, I wish to convey certain points for our well-being and humanity as well. Every success is the story of failure, which says success is the part of our failure all through our life. Think that tomorrow is the first day of your rest of the life. So you must act accordingly. Try new things regularly. Don't care about comments. Keep proceeding without blaming others. Whenever you are too stressed, don't derive any concluded decision. You talk to yourself on any event that doesn't matter if you did anything wrong. Your mind and heart says that you did wrong, then accept and that get apology to whom you did it. If you did anything good, feel privileged and honored by yourself. Don't expect others' appreciation. Appreciate yourself. Think for a while about nation and act to serve the nation by helping the poor to your capacity to whom your help is necessary. Don't be too emotional to the activities which doesn't affect us. Over to you, Ajay.
Thank you, ma'am, for your networking advice. I welcome our beloved Madam Mrs. Lebana Rani ma'am to address the gatherings. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ajay. Today I am going to share about the nation builders. The first one is about Indira Gandhi. Okay, and why I am taking Indira Gandhi? Because she born before independence. Born on 19th November 1917. Indira Priyadarshini Gandhi was the sole child of Kamala and Jawaharlal Nehru. She joined Congress Party in 1938. In 1942, she married Feroz Gandhi and he died in 1960. A fellow member of the party, the couple had two children, Sanjay and Rajiv. Okay, and one tactic of India's nationalist movement was to reject foreign, particularly British products. Indira witnessed a bonfire of foreign goods. Later, the 5-year-old, she chose to ban her own beloved doll because the toy had been made in England. That much she was patriot to India. When she was 12, she was participated in the India's independence struggle also. How she participated means Indira played an even bigger role in India's struggle for self-determination by leading children in the Vanar Sena. That means the Monkey Brigade. Okay. The group grew to include 60,000 young revolutionaries, fighters, envelopes, made flags, conveyed message, and put up notice about demonstrations. It was a risky undertaking, but Indira was very happy to participating in the independence movement. Okay, in this way, she lead the youngsters of our nation, and she was the first woman Prime Minister of India. She participated from January 1966 to January 1977, then again from January 1982 until her assassination in October 1984. During her rule, India was facing a major agrarian crisis. We are unable to produce the amount of food necessary to feed millions of Indians. So food is the main thing. Yeah, every day we need food, 3 times we need food to eat. But that time India was facing the crisis. What she done until 1969, the United States was a major ally during this period by exporting food and providing development aid to India. The support was came from United States, okay. And after that, what happens when the President Johnson came to power? He changed the system and reduced the aid delivered to us. He stopped the support from US. Immediately, the Indira Gandhi what she adopted, this drop in food aid prompted Indira Gandhi to adopt Norman Borlaug's Green Revolution ideology. She taken a marvelous actions for that. Agriculture soon shifted to a more modern methodology. We adopted use of high-yielding variety seeds, used pesticides and fertilizers, and started using tractors and irrigation facilities to modernize technology. So soon she developed the agriculture side. Okay, because of that we are getting food for our nation. So that much crisis was found in the agriculture, but she solved that by giving seeds, variety seeds and pesticides and fertilizers, tractor and irrigation facilities. Also, so many irrigation facilities, modern technology she introduced. Because of that, it got improved. Agriculture got improved in our nation. And as a result of this modernization and scientific approach, India became food surplus state and no longer relied on foreign aid to feed itself. It was Indira Gandhi's determination and grit that got India out of this tumultuous period. Okay, from this critical period, she bring out India. Okay, because of using the modern technology, we came out of that crisis. It was also under Indira Gandhi that India nationalized 14 private banks and thereby changed the nature of country banking system. It's a great achievement. Okay, before that many banks they cheated the people. Okay, and many banks they closed also. After receiving the deposit from the public, they cheated the public. But after that, 14 banks were nationalized. By nationalizing the bank, Indira Gandhi provided a sense of security to banking sector, and many Indians they deposited money in these banks. She also ensured the credit would be easily available to the priority sector: agriculture, small and medium industry, traders and entrepreneurs. And when we approach for the loan, okay, this priority sector, because India is based on the agriculture, our economy is purely based on agriculture. And next comes the small and medium industries. So these are the priority sectors. So the banks they have to provide preference to these sectors. Okay. Moreover, she starts the setting up of banks in the rural and the backward areas. She is focusing on the backward areas because many banks they won't started in the backward areas. So she made them to start in the backward areas after the nationalization. Okay, it happens only after the nationalization. In 1970s, another achievement was close to 10 million East Pakistani, now Bangladesh, refugees in India. The state of East Pakistan has set up defense government within our boundaries and were in desperate need of help. It was then that Indira Gandhi decided it was more economically prudent to go to war with Pakistan and help free East Pakistan than care for the millions of refugees they were coming into India. What she has done, they separated the Bangladesh from the Pakistan. Okay, before it is under the control of Pakistan, and she supported. Once it is called as East Pakistan, and now it is called as Bangladesh. We joined the war in 1971, and thanks to rapid movements of the Indian Armed Force and supreme air support, were able to defeat Pakistan in a manner of 13 days. Bangladesh was thus an independent state. So we joined the war in the 1971. We supported today's Bangladesh. That time it is called as East Pakistan before 1971. And she supported with our force, our Indian Army force, and as well as the Air Force also. And she was known for her strong personality and also went to war with Pakistan, supporting the independence movement in East Pakistan, leading to formation of Bangladesh. She is the one lady and she supported East Pakistan and make it as a separate state, and now it is called as Bangladesh. In 1999, Indira Gandhi was named Woman of the Millennium by the BBC poll. BBC poll is nothing but the British broadcaster. Okay, it is a worldwide famous one. They named Indira Gandhi Woman of the Millennium because 2000 up to 2000 there is 1 millennium. 1 millennium is over. Yeah, so the Indira Gandhi was named. That proud was for our nation. The lesson that we must draw from the life and the legacy of Indira Ji are that every defeated can be turned into a stepping stone for success. Even the impossible can become possible. Okay, in her life, that is the main thing. Okay, from her life we have to learn. And one main thing is Operation Blue Star. This was a tremendous one. We can't imagine a lady can do this. Operation Blue Star was the code name of an Indian military action carried out between 1st and June 8, 1984 to remove militant Sikh leader Sant Jarnail Singh Brindanwala and his followers from the building of Hamadir Shahib, that is Golden Temple complex in Amritsar, Punjab. Okay, and this is why they have done Abin Fatina. That is, they are just like terrorists. They want a separate nation. That is, they have to separate Punjab from India. They want try to make it up, and they all hide inside the Golden Temple. The military action in the temple complex was criticized by the Sikhs worldwide. What she has done, Abhina, she sent our military to inside the Golden Temple, and who interpreted it as an assault on the Sikh religion. Many Sikh soldiers in the army deserted their units. Several Sikhs resigned from civil administrative office and returned awards received from the Indian government. So because of that action, what she has done, 8 days the operation happened, and she killed many of them inside the temple itself, and they removed all the terrorists from that place. Okay, she is the one leading the troop also. Indian troop was led by Indira Gandhi that time. Okay, what is it? Great. She is the Iron Lady. And it is very difficult to walk in the road. Is that difficult for us as a woman? If we are walking in the road, sometimes we are afraid to walk. But she is the one leading the troop, Indian army troop, and went into the Golden Temple, and she removed all the terrorists. So that is why the Sikhs they got angry, and worldwide it was criticized. And because of that, many Sikhs they resigned the civil service. Okay, those who are in the IAS, IPS officers. Okay, like that, they resigned their job, and many those who received their awards, they returned the awards to Indian government. So that much they are criticized Indira Gandhi, and they are against Indira Gandhi. 5 months after the operation, on 31st October, what happens means the assassination of Indira Gandhi was happened. How Abhin Sona? It is two God from 31st Indira Gandhi was assassinated by her two Sikh bodyguards, Shashwant Singh and Beenat Singh. They killed her, okay? Killed Indira Gandhi on 31st October 1984. That time she was up to that date she was the Prime Minister of India. Okay, Jai Hind. And the next one. And next one is Abdul Kalam. He also born before independence. That is 15th October 1931. up to 27 July 2015. Okay, how he served the nation. They are these people are the builders of our nation. APJ Abdul Kalam was born on 15th October 1931. His birth anniversary is observed as World Students' Day. He was the President of India from 2002 to 2007. He was honored with several prestigious awards, including India's highest civilian honor, Bharat Ratna in 1997. He was born in Dhanushkodi, Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, and studied physics and aerospace engineering. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's involvement in nuclear power in India earned him the title Missile Man of India. Due to his contribution, the Government of India awarded him highest civilian award. This is the biodata name. APJ for that the full Abul Pakir Jainuddin Abdul Kalam. Nickname is Missile Man. Nationality Indian. Occupation, he served as an engineer and scientist, author. He has written books also as a professor and a politician also. Born on 15th October 1931, place of birth Dhanushkodi, Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, India. He died on 27 July 2015. Died at the age of 83. Place of death Shillong, Meghalaya, India. While giving the lecture only, he died. Famous as Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, President from 2002 to 2007. He was the 11th President of India and elected against Lakshmi Sehgal in 2002. Before becoming the President of India, he worked with the Indian Space Research Organization (ISRO) and Defence Research and Development Organization (DRDO) as an aerospace engineer. He was known as the Missile Man of India for his important role in the nation's civil space program and military missile development. Also in 1998, he made a significant contribution to India's Pokhran-2 nuclear test. This many times I explained in the classes also. For third year and the past of students, they know about the Pokhran-2. Okay, I have explained you. He had completed his matriculation in Swartz Higher Secondary School, Ramanathapuram, and later he went to St. Joseph College where he became a physics graduate. In 1955, he went to Madras to study aerospace engineering at Madras Institute of Technology. During his third year of graduation, he was assigned a project to design a low-level attack aircraft together with a few other students. Okay, this is the target. What he was doing, the teacher had given them a tight deadline for completing the project. It was very difficult. Kalam worked hard under immense pressure and finally completed his project within the stipulated deadline. The teacher was impressed by the dedication of Kalam. So students, you have to work hard. That's the lesson we have to learn from the Kalam. I know about the current third year. Last year I gave assignment for them. They have done very well. Okay. Whenever the teachers give you a project, you should not find it difficult. You have to work hard and you have to finish it. Okay. That is the lesson we have to learn from Kalam. From that age itself, from the 25 years old in 1955 means he is 25 years old. That time itself he is a hard worker. That's why he is called as the Missile Man of India. Now we are discussing about him. So the hard work is very much important in the life. So next, after visiting NASA's Langley Research Center in Hampton, Virginia, Goddard Space Flight Center in Greenbelt, Maryland, and Walsh Flight Facility in 1963-64, he started working on an expandable rocket project independently in 1965 DRDO. He was not much satisfied with his work at DRDO, and when he received transfer orders to ISRO in 1969, he became happy. Okay, he wanted to work in the satellite, in the ISRO, where we launched the satellites. There he served as the project director of the SLV-3, which successfully deployed the Rohini satellite in near Earth orbit in July 1980. It was a successful one. It is India's first indigenously designed and produced satellite launch. Okay, and that is the first one launched by India. And Kalam received the government approval in 1969 and expanded the program to include more engineers. And he got the permission from the government in 1969 and he had more engineers. And in 1970s, he made an effort to develop the Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle with an aim to allow India to launch its Indian remote sensing satellite into sun synchronized orbit. So because of launching many satellites only nowadays, we are using this modern technologies very easily, mobile and computer. We are meeting with the Google Meet, Zoom, etc., etc. Because of launching the satellite, we can connect any people. We can talk to America, Germany, any country we can easily because of the launching the satellites. Okay, under the leadership of Abdul Kalam, the project of IGMDP proved to be successfully by producing missiles like the first Prithvi missile in 1988, then the Agni missile in 1989. Due to his contribution, he was known as Missile Man of India. Because of these two missiles, okay, one is the Prithvi missile, second one is the Agni missile. He got the name Missile Man of India. In 1992, he was appointed as the scientific advisor to the Defence Minister. For our Defence Minister, the Government of India appointed him as the scientific advisor. How they appointed him? With the rank of Cabinet Minister. Okay, in 1999, he was appointed the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. Okay, again he was appointed as the 1999, he got the Principal Scientific Advisor. He became the 11th President of India by succeeding K.R. Narayanan. He received the prestigious Bharat Ratna and became the third President to receive the highest civilian honor after Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan in 1954, Dr. Zakir Hussain in 1963. Okay, he is the one received the prestigious award. Okay, Bharat Ratna after Radhakrishnan and Zakir Hussain. Abdul Kalam was known as the People's President. Okay, over his 5 years period of time, he remained committed to his vision of transforming India into a developed nation. He was, however, criticized for his inaction to decide the fate of 20 mercy petitions out of 21. That means any mercy petition, that is தூக்கு தண்டனை கைதின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, அவங்களுக்குலாம் அந்த mercy petitions will be sent to the president. The president is having the power to reduce the punishment. But he didn't take any action. 21 mercy petitions were sent to him. He take action on only one, including that of Kashmir terrorist Afzal Guru, who was convicted for the parliament attack in December 2001. He decided not to contest the presidential election again in 2007 and stepped down as the president on 25th July 2007. He was president from 25th July 2002 to 21st July 2007. And the second time he don't like to contest. He want to become a professor after that. Abdul Kalam, post presidency, after once he stepped down from the presidency, after leaving the office, Abdul Kalam chose the academic field and became a visiting professor at the Indian Institute of Management Shillong, the Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad, the Indian Institute of Management Indore, and honorary fellow of the Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He also served as the chancellor of the Indian Institute of Space Research and Technology, Thiruvananthapuram, professor of aerospace engineering at Anna University, and an adjunct at many other academic and research institutions across India. நம்ம சொல்லணும்னா அப்துல் கலாமை பற்றி நான் இதில் சொல்லியிருக்கிறது only 1%. We can say many things, so many things are about him, okay? And he is other than this, he was professor for many other research institutions across India. Abdul Kalam awards and achievements, okay? 81 he got Padma Bhushan, in 1990 Padma Vibhushan from the Government of India, 94 and 95 distinguished fellow and honorary fellow by Institute of Directors, India National Academy of Medical Science. 1997 he had received Bharat Ratna from Government of India and Indira Gandhi Award for National Integration from the Indian National Congress, and in 1998 Veer Savarkar Award from Government of India. In 2000, Ramanujam Award from Alva's Research Center, Chennai. In 2007, he honored with the King Charles II Medal by the Royal Society UK and Doctorate of Science from the University of Wolverhampton, UK. In 2008, he won the Howard Medal given by ASME Foundation, USA, and received Doctor of Engineering by Nanyang Technology University, Singapore. Afterwards, in 2009, California Institute of Technology, USA present award, and 2010, Doctor of Engineering by University of Waterloo. 2011, IEEE honored Kalam, and 2012, Doctor of Laws by Simpson Fraser University. 2013, Von Braun Award by the National Space Society. 2014, Doctor of Science by Edinburgh University, UK. And the great reward is Kalam was the recipient of honorary doctorates from 40 universities. Just imagine, to get the doctorate is a difficult thing. Okay, you have to struggle. If you are doing in part-time means we have to work for 3 years. If you are doing regular means you have to get 2 years. It will take 2 years. After 3 years we have to submit and you have to wait for another 1 year. You will get the degree. But because of his hard work, because of his achievements, he got honorary doctorates from 40 universities, from various universities in the world. Okay, not only from India, in various parts of the world, he got this honorary doctorates. Okay, also Dr. Kalam's 79th birthday was recognized as World Students' Day by the United Nations. He was also nominated from the MTV Youth Icon of the Year in 2003 and in 2006. Just imagine, while he was 79 years old, his birthday was celebrated as the Students' Day, and it was declared by the United Nations, not by India. It is by UNO is the worldwide, it is the universally accepted organization. Okay, whatever the problem arises, the United Nations, it will come inside. Okay, and the worldwide, if any problems arises, now the United Nations solved it. That United Nations gave the proud to Kalam's birthday. Okay, this worldwide it is celebrated as the Student Day. It is proud to us and to our country also. On 27 July 2015, Dr. Abdul Kalam was delivering a lecture at IIM, Indian Institute of Meghalaya, Indian Institute of Management, Shillong, where he suffered a heart attack and his condition became critical. So he was shifted to Bethany Hospital, where thereafter he died of cardiac arrest. On 30th July 2015, the former president was laid to rest at Rameshwaram Pekarumbu ground with state honors. Do you know that around 350,000 people attended the last ritual of Kalam, including the Prime Minister of India, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, and the Chief Minister of Karnataka, Kerala, and Andhra Pradesh. Now, APJ Abdul Kalam National Memorial. The memory of late President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, a memorial was built on his name at Pekarumbu, in the island town of Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, India. And on 27 July 2017, it is inaugurated by the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi. Do you know who built the memorial? It was built by the DRDO, that is the Defense Research and Development Organization, because he worked there for many years and they built this memorial place. Okay, and if you have a chance, you go and see that. And this is the award given by Abdul Kalam to the students. End is not end, in fact, END means effort never dies. And I like this very much because I am a last bencher. Okay, the best brain of the nation may be found on the last benches of the classroom. Okay, Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for your meticulous points, which surely guide us in our future, ma'am. Next, I welcome our beloved Madam Mrs. Uma Mageshwari, ma'am, to address the gatherings. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning to one and all. Wish you happy Independence Day. Now we are celebrating 74th Independence Day. In this occasion, I would like to tell you only one thing. So each and everybody should follow the words which is mentioned in that pledge itself. Because in a pledge it has mentioned everything. that we have to give respect and we should not show any disparities between the caste, creed and religion, everything. So if you follow this word itself, you may get success. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable and unique suggestions, ma'am. Next, I welcome our beloved Madam Mrs. Satishila ma'am to address the gatherings. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon, one and all. Good afternoon, Yashoda ma'am, HOD ma'am, and also my dear friend Lebna ma'am, and then Uma ma'am. Hearty good afternoon to one and all in this webinar. Really very happy to talk in this webinar. And once again, good afternoon, friends and students. My heartfelt wishes for the 74th Independence Day. Independence Day is celebrated in the memory of our great freedom fighters, and previously our staff also given a very fabulous talk regarding that one. So I want to say a few words regarding our Independence Day. Okay, va? So here, who gained independence from the British rule, and this day is dedicated for paying them a tribute. This day teaches us about the power of unity as well as nationalism among the Indians. Every Indian, irrespective of our religion, culture and caste, come together to celebrate the fact of being Indian. As your student, you have to get more knowledge and then work hard for our future India. So we have to be very proud of Indian, and then we have to be very work hard for each and every moment for to be an Indian, to be as proud of everything. Jai Hind, and continue our program with successful manners, my dear students.
Thank you, ma'am, for your remarkable suggestions, ma'am. I welcome Mohan Krishnan to speak about welcome speech.
Next, Morgan Krishnan, who wants to speak welcome speech. Over to you.
Good afternoon to all. Happy 74th Independence Day. On behalf of our class, I am Mohan Krishnan, extending a very sincere warm welcome to one and all present here on the Independence Day celebration of our college, and I also want to extend a note of thank you to our teachers for attending the Independence Day Eve. Today is our 74th Independence Day. This is the day of pride and joy for every citizen of the independent nation that has a freedom of speech, freedom to live our life. Remember this ceremony for our great freedom fighters and leaders who sacrificed their everything to make our motherland free. Independence Day is annually celebrated in 15th August as a national holiday in India, commemorating the national independence from the United Kingdom on 15th August 1947, the day when the provision of the India Independence Act 1947 as passed by the United Kingdom Parliament, which transferred legislative sovereignty to the Indian Constitution Assembly, came into effect. Independence with the partition of India, in which the British India was divided along religious lines into the dominance of India and Pakistan, the partition of accompanied by violence, raids and mosques, and the displacement of near 15 million people due to religion violence. On 15th August 1947, the first Prime Minister of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, raised the Indian national flag above the Lahori Gate of the Red Fort in Delhi. And I sincerely thank my HOD ma'am for giving the wonderful opportunity. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Akila to speak about welcome speech.
அனைவருக்கும் மாலை வணக்கம். என் பெயர் அகிலா. வளர்ந்த பெரியோர்களுக்கும் வளரும் என் தோழர்களுக்கும் வணக்கம். பெற்ற தாய்க்கும் பிறந்த பொன்னாட்டிற்கும் வணக்கம். தமிழே, என் தாய் தமிழே, எனக்குள் இருக்கும் தங்கத் தமிழே, முத்தமிழ் வளர்த்த மூத்த தமிழே, என் மூச்சாக இருக்கும் இசை தமிழே என்று என் தமிழுக்கும் அவையோர்களுக்கும் எனது வணக்கங்கள். ஈடு இணையில்லா தேசம், குமரி முதல் இமயம் வரை இயற்கையால் அமைந்தது நமது எல்லை. ஆங்கிலேயரால் வந்தது தொல்லை. சுதந்திரமாக சுவாசிக்க கூட சுதந்திரம் அன்றி இல்லை. சுவாசிக்க கூட யோசிக்க இருந்த நேரத்தில் சிலர் தேசத்தை நேசித்ததால் நாம் சுவாசிக்கின்றோம். நாட்டிற்கு கிடைத்த சுதந்திரம் நாம் பெற்ற வரமல்லவா? பாருக்குள்ளே நல்ல நாடு நம் பாரத நாடு என்ற பாரதியின் வாக்கிற்கிணங்க ஒரு காலத்தில் ஆரியர்கள் நாடி வந்த வளமான தேசம் நம் நாடு. அலெக்சாண்டர் தேடி வந்த வீரமிக்க தேசம் இது. காந்தி பிறந்த தேசம் இது. இத்தனை சிறப்புமிக்க நம் தேசம் ஆங்கிலேயர்களின் 200 ஆண்டுகளாக ஆட்சியில் கலையிழந்து பலமிழந்து சுதந்திரத்தையும் இழந்து மக்கள் வாழ்ந்தனர். அடிமைப்பட்டு கிடந்த நம் மக்களின் சுதந்திரத்திற்கு வித்திட்டவர் ஆயிரக்கணக்கானோர். சும்மாவா கொடுத்தார் சுதந்திரம்? இல்லை இல்லை. தேச விடுதலை என்பது ஒரு தனி மனிதனுக்கோ தனி வர்க்கத்திற்கோ சொந்தமானது அல்ல. மகாத்மா அவர்கள் சுதந்திரம் கிடைப்பதற்கு முன்பே பாரத தாயின் கைவிலங்கை உடைத்தவர். வானம் பொழிகிறது, பூமி விளைகிறது, உனக்கு ஏன் கப்பம் என கேள்வி கேட்டு வெள்ளையனுக்கு தொல்லை தந்து எல்லையை விட்டே ஓடச் செய்தவர் அல்லவா கட்டபொம்மன். மாணவன் என்றால் மாண்புடையவன் என்று பொருள். அவர் கையில் அல்லவா உள்ளது நம் தேசம். நம் எதிர்கால திட்டம் புதிராக போனால் நாம் என்ன செய்யக்கூடும்? நம் வருங்காலம் என்பது நெருங்காமல் போனால் எங்கு நாம் செல்லக்கூடும்? நம் எதிர்கால திட்டம் தீட்டி மக்கள் தொண்டே மகத்தான தொண்டு என்று நாட்டினை முன்னேற்றத்திற்கு அழைத்து செல்லலாம். பெற்ற தாய் தனை மறந்தாலும், பிள்ளை பெருந்தாயை மறந்தாலும், உற்ற தேசம் உயிர் மறந்தாலும், உயிரை மேவிய உடல் மறந்தாலும், நெஞ்சகம் கலை மறந்தாலும், கண்கள் நின்று இமைக்க மறந்தாலும், நான் இந்தியன், என்னுடைய சுதந்திரத்தை யாருக்கும் எதற்கும் விட்டு கொடுக்க மாட்டேன் என்று மறவாமல் எவன் ஒருவன் தன் கடமையை செய்கிறானோ அவனே சுதந்திரம் அடைந்தவன். அவனே இந்த சுதந்திர இந்தியாவில் தைரியமாக வலம் வருவான். இல்லையெனில் நீ சுதந்திரவாதி அல்ல. சுதந்திர இந்தியாவில் என் இந்தியா சுதந்திரம் என்று சொல்லிக்கொண்டு சுதந்திரமற்றவனாகிறாய். இந்தியாவில் இருப்பவரெல்லாம் இந்தியன் அல்ல. இந்தியா யாருக்குள் இருக்கிறதோ அவனே இந்தியன். நன்றி.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Jayashree to speak about welcome speech.
Good afternoon to all. I am C.S. Jayashree. On this day, first I welcome to our Head of Department, Ms. Yashoda ma'am. Next, I welcome our staff members, Mrs. T. Lebana Rani ma'am, Mrs. S. Uma Mageshwari ma'am, Mrs. V. Satyashila ma'am. And I am welcoming my seniors and my juniors and my dear friends. I wish you all happy Independence Day. Today on 15th of August, we all have gathered here to celebrate our 74th Independence Day of our nation. Great freedom fighters like Mahatma Gandhi, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel devoted their entire life for the independence of our country. Many brave revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru sacrificed their lives for the nation's freedom. But we cannot take this independence for granted. We all must contribute for the development of our country so that no country can imagine to rule on us again. Our freedom is priceless and our brave soldiers fight continuously on borders to protect our country. So it is also our duty to work hard for the country's development and progress. Let us all pledge today to do our best and make our country the best country of the world. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. I welcome Bharat to speak about history of independence.
பொருட்படுத்தாமல் இந்தியா தனது சுதந்திர தினத்தை கொண்டாடி வருகிறது என்றால் அதன் முக்கியத்துவத்தை நாம் அறிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும். 1947 ஆண்டு ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் நாள் இந்தியா பிரெஞ்சு அரசாங்கத்திடமிருந்து அதிகாரப்பூர்வமாக சுதந்திரம் பெற்றது. ஆனால் 1600ஆம் ஆண்டிலேயே கிழக்கிந்தியா கம்பெனி இந்தியாவுக்குள் வந்துவிட்டது. 1600ஆம் ஆண்டு வணிகம் செய்வதற்காக இந்தியாவுக்குள் வந்த ஆங்கிலேய கிழக்கிந்திய கம்பெனி மெல்ல மெல்ல ஆட்சி நிர்வாகத்தில் தலையிட ஆரம்பித்தது. தன் வியாபார வெற்றிக்காக மன்னர்களுக்கு ஆலோசனை சொல்ல ஆரம்பித்தது. பின் ஆட்சியின் முடிவுகளையும் எடுக்க தொடங்கியது. பின் படிப்படியாக மொத்த ஆட்சியும் கையில் எடுத்துக்கொண்டது இங்கிலாந்து அரசு. 1800ஆம் ஆண்டுக்கு பிறகுதான் ஆங்கிலேயர்களை எதிர்த்து இந்தியாவில் கிளர்ச்சி தொடங்கியது. காந்தி, நேரு, சுபாஷ் சந்திரபோஸ், பகத்சிங் என பிரபலமான தலைவர்கள் பலவரையும் நாம் அறிவோம். ஆனால் நாடு முழுக்க இருந்த பல்வேறு தலைவர்களும் அவரவர் பகுதியில் கடுமையான போராட்டங்கள் செய்ய தொடங்கியது ஆங்கிலேயர்கள் மனதில் சலனத்தை ஏற்படுத்தியது. அதே சமயம் வன்முறை வழியை பின்பற்றவும் இந்தியா தவறவில்லை. இதன் விளைவாக இந்தியர்கள் ஒற்றுமையாக இருக்க தொடங்கிவிட்டனர் என உணர்ந்த ஆங்கிலேய அரசு சுதந்திரம் வழங்குவதை குறித்து சிந்திக்க தொடங்கியது. எனினும் இங்கிலாந்து அரசவை இந்த எண்ணத்தை ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளவில்லை. தொடர் போராட்டங்கள், துப்பாக்கிச் சூடு, உயிரிழப்புகள், சிறைவாசம் என இந்தியா அடுத்த 100 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு பாடுபட்டது. அதே சமயத்தில் 2ஆம் உலகப் போரில் இங்கிலாந்து பெரும் செல்வத்தை இழந்து நாடே கழையிழந்து காணப்பட்டது. அப்பொழுது இங்கிலாந்து அரசவை கூட்டத்தில் இந்தியாவுக்கு சுதந்திரம் வழங்கிவிடலாம் என்று முடிவெடுக்கப்பட்டது. இதற்காக இந்தியாவின் கடைசி வைஸ்ராய் மவுண்ட்பேட்டன் பிரபு இந்தியாவுக்கு அனுப்பி வைக்கப்பட்டார். அந்த சமயத்தில் இந்தியாவில் இஸ்லாமியர்களுக்கு தனி நாடு கோரிக்கை வலுத்தி வந்தது. இந்த பிரச்சனையை சரி செய்து இந்தியாவுக்கு சுதந்திரம் வழங்கும் பொறுப்பு மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் பிரபுவுக்கு இருந்தது. இதற்காக பல கட்ட பேச்சுவார்த்தைகள், சண்டை சச்சரவுகள் மற்றும் மனக்கசப்புகள் ஆகியவற்றை தாண்டி இந்தியா, பாகிஸ்தான் என இரு நாடுகள் சுதந்திரம் வழங்கப்பட்டது. இதன் விளைவாக ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் ஆகஸ்ட் 14ஆம் தேதி பாகிஸ்தானுக்கும் ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் தேதி இந்தியாவுக்கும் தங்கள் சுதந்திர தினத்தை கொண்டாடுகின்றன. ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் சுதந்திர தினத்தின் போது இந்தியாவின் தனிப்பெருமைகளை வேற்றுமையின் ஒற்றுமை, மதச்சார்பின்மை ஆகியவற்றை பொருந்தாத வண்ணம் நடந்து கொள்வோம் என்று ஒவ்வொரு இந்தியரும் உறுதி எடுத்துக் கொள்ள வேண்டியது அவசியம்.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Yemalata to speak about history of independence.
Hi, I am Hemalata. First of all, I would like to wish you all a very happy Independence Day. Today we have gathered here to celebrate 7th Independence Day. This is really great national event. Independence Day held a lot of significance in the lives of Indians. On this day, we got freedom after a long struggle of thousands of freedom fighters and great leaders like Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, and many more. They all sacrificed their lives to get independence from the British, to rule the country for more than 200 years. Independence Day is celebrated all in colleges, offices, and other places. India has shown phenomenal growth since its independence. India has witnessed growth in various fields, including science, technology, agriculture, but there is still a lot of achievement. Now it is our turn to continue legacy of doing something great for our next generation, and we will make it. Jason, thank you to all.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Khayalveli to speak about history of independence.
அனைவருக்கும் இனிய மாலை வணக்கம். இனிய 74வது சுதந்திர தின வாழ்த்துக்கள். இந்தியாவின் சுதந்திரத்திற்காக போராடி உயிர் தியாகம் செய்த அத்துணை தலைவர்களுக்கும் எனது வீர வணக்கத்தினை கூறி எனது உரையை தொடங்குகிறேன். இந்திய திருநாடு தன் 74வது சுதந்திர தினத்தை ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் தேதியான இன்று கொண்டாடப்படுகிறது. நாடு முழுக்க பரவியிருக்கும் கொரோனா தொற்றையும் பொருட்படுத்தாமல் இந்தியா தனது சுதந்திர தினத்தை கொண்டாடி வருகிறது என்றால் அதன் முக்கியத்துவத்தை நாம் அறிந்து கொள்ள வேண்டும். 1947ஆம் ஆண்டு ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் நாள் இந்தியா பிரிட்டிஷ் அரசாங்கத்திடமிருந்து அதிகாரப்பூர்வமாக சுதந்திரம் பெற்றது. ஆனால் 1600ஆம் ஆண்டு வணிகம் செய்வதற்காக இந்தியாவுக்குள் வந்த ஆங்கில கிழக்கிந்திய கம்பெனி மெல்ல மெல்ல ஆட்சி நிர்வாகத்தில் தலையிட ஆரம்பித்தது. தன் வியாபார வெற்றிக்காக மன்னர்களுக்கு ஆலோசனை சொல்ல ஆரம்பித்து பின் ஆட்சியின் முடிவுகளையும் எடுக்க தொடங்கியது. பின் படிப்படியாக மொத்த ஆட்சியும் கையில் எடுத்துக்கொண்டது இங்கிலாந்து அரசு. இந்தியர்களின் ஒற்றுமை இன்மை காரணமாக வெகு நாட்களாக ஆங்கிலேயர்களுக்கு எதிர்ப்பே இல்லை. 1800ஆம் ஆண்டுக்கு பிறகுதான் ஆங்கிலேயர்களை எதிர்த்து இந்தியாவில் கிளர்ச்சி தொடங்கியது. காந்தி, நேரு, சுபாஷ் சந்திர போஸ், பகத்சிங் என பிரபலமான தலைவர்கள் பலரையும் நாம் அறிவோம். ஆனால் நாடு முழுக்க பல்வேறு தலைவர்களும் அவரவர் பகுதிகளில் கடுமையான போராட்டங்கள் செய்து மனதில் சலனத்தை ஏற்படுத்தியது. அதே சமயம் வன்முறை வழியை பின்பற்றவும் இந்தியா தவறவில்லை. இதன் விளைவாக இந்தியர்கள் ஒற்றுமையாக இருக்க தொடங்கிவிட்டனர் என்று உணர்ந்த ஆங்கிலேய அரசு சுதந்திரம் வழங்குவது குறித்து சிந்திக்க தொடங்கியது. எனினும் இங்கிலாந்து அரசவை இந்த எண்ணத்தை ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளவில்லை. தொடர் போராட்டங்கள், துப்பாக்கி சூடு, உயிரிழப்புகள், சிறைவாசம் என இந்தியா அடுத்த 100 ஆண்டுகளுக்கு படாத பாடுபட்டது. அதே சமயத்தில் 2ஆம் உலக போரில் இங்கிலாந்து பெரும் செல்வத்தை இழந்து நாடே கழையிலிருந்து காணப்பட்டது. அப்போதைய இங்கிலாந்து அரசை கூட்டத்தில் இந்தியாவுக்கு சுதந்திரம் வழங்கிவிடலாம் என்று முடிவெடுக்கப்பட்டது. இதற்காக இந்தியாவின் கடைசி வைஸ்ராய் மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் பிரபு இந்தியாவுக்கு அனுப்பி வைக்கப்பட்டார். அந்த சமயம் இந்தியாவில் இஸ்லாமியர்களுக்கான தனி நாடு கோரிக்கையும் வலுத்து வந்தது. இந்த பிரச்சனையை சரி செய்து இந்தியாவுக்கு சுதந்திரம் வழங்கும் பொறுப்பு மவுண்ட் பேட்டன் பிரபுக்கு இருந்தது. இதற்காக பல கட்ட பேச்சுவார்த்தைகள், சண்டை சச்சரவுகள் மற்றும் மனக்கசப்புகள் ஆகியவற்றை தாண்டி இந்தியா, பாகிஸ்தான் என 2 நாடுகள் பிரிக்கப்பட்டு சுதந்திரம் வழங்கப்பட்டது. இதன் விளைவாக ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் ஆகஸ்ட் 14ஆம் தேதி பாகிஸ்தானுக்கும் ஆகஸ்ட் 15ஆம் தேதி இந்தியாவுக்கும் தங்கள் சுதந்திர தினத்தை கொண்டாடுகிறார்கள். ஒவ்வொரு ஆண்டும் சுதந்திர தினத்தின் போது இந்தியாவின் தனிப்பெருமைகளான வேற்றுமை ஒற்றுமை மத சார்பின்மை ஆகியவற்றை குலைக்காத வண்ணம் புரிந்து கொள்வோம் என்று இந்தியராகிய நாம் ஒவ்வொருவரும் உறுதி எடுத்துக் கொள்ள வேண்டும். வாழ்க இந்தியா.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Ramanathan to speak about history of independence.
Independence Day to everyone who has gathered here to celebrate this auspicious festival of independent India. I am thankful for having your attention, and with this I would like to begin my speech. I am here to speak about the importance of this very day. Independence Day is a festival when we celebrate our mysteries and their struggle of a long span of 200 years. India was a British colony for a 2 centuries. In this period, the nation underwent a lot of events which made our freedom fighter anxious for a better future that we are witnessing today. The event being the massacre at Jallianwala Bagh, the fault land settlement system benefiting the crown, racial discrimination and endless such plights. We have come so far that we have started taking it for granted, forgetting the true meaning of the day. This day should be just a day, should not be just a day. When we gather to raise the flag and eat sweet, one must keep in mind that the flag that we raise is our head, that we shall never let any down. The flag is also the head that were behind in the time stretch. We shall not let them down either. No bite of delicious sweet should be taken without thinking of those nights when our leader fought empty stomach. As citizens of this country should always keep the past, present and future glory alive in the every moment of this day. We shall promise to keep the head of our farmer, soldiers, doctor, industrialist and government body high, and we shall promise it till perpetuity. Jai Hind.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Janani to speak about history of independence.
Morning to all. Wish a happy independence. Now we are celebrating 74th Independence Day. We got independence on 15th August 1947 from British rule. I am proud of an Indian. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful speech.
Independence Day is celebrated annually on 15th August as a national holiday in India. The nation's independence from the United Kingdom on 15th August 1947, the day when the Independence Day Act 1947, which transferred legislative freedom to the Indian Constitutional Assembly, came into effect. The Indian retained King George as a head of state until its transition to a full republic, and the Constitution of India 1950 replaced the dominant prefix, Dominion of India, with enhancement of the Freedom Law, Constitution of India.
I welcome Vignesh to speak about Subhash Chandra Bose.
Namaste and welcome to one and all present here. My name is Vignesh and I am here to speak about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose on an historic moment of India's Independence Day. As far we know that Netaji was India's most loved and iconic freedom fighter. He is a motivational speaker where I am going to say a famous line of him, "Give me blood and I promise you freedom," said by Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose in Burma to the members of INA in 1944. Now let's see deep about Subhash Chandra Bose. He was born in Odisha to a wealthy and prominent family of lawyers. After his graduation in 1919, he went to the University of Cambridge in England to prepare for Indian civil service. He also became a part of civil disobedience movement which was led by Mahatma Gandhi. Though he was successful for the Indian civil service exam, he chose to fight for the freedom of the country. Also, he became part of Indian National Congress. In 1938, he was also chosen as the party president. However, he resigned in 1940 and formed Forward Bloc. Subhash Chandra Bose was held under house arrest by the British government because he had been opposing their rule. However, he left the country secretly in 1941 and travelled west towards Afghanistan to Europe, where he sought assistance from Russians and Germans. He visited Japan in 1943, where they set yes to his appeal for help. It was here that he formed the Indian National Army with the Indian war prisoners. Under the leadership of Subhash Chandra Bose, the INA attacked parts of northeastern part of India, where they captured some portions. However, British forced INA to surrender, where he was not one to surrender. He escaped on a plane, but he never made it. It is said that his plane crashed at Formosa, now known as Taiwan. I will finish my speech by saying that Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose was a great Indian freedom fighter till his last minute. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Pavitra to speak about Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit.
My respected teachers and my dear friends, this is M. Pavitra studying third year BCom General. I am going to talk about freedom fighters, Mrs. Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit. Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit was born as Swarab Kumari Nehru in Allahabad on August 18, 1900. She born to Motilal Nehru and is the younger sister of Jawaharlal Nehru. In her family's tradition, she became an active worker in Indian nationalist movement and was imprisoned 3 times by the British authorities in India. She resigned just 2 years later as a more of solidarity with other Indian ministers who resigned after the British deployed India troops for the Second World War. At a time when a political career was non-exist for women, the later Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit was way ahead of her times. From 1954 to 1961, she was Indian Higher Commissioner in London. She served as governor of the state of Maharashtra from 1962 to 1964. And from 1964 to 1968, she was a member of the Indian Lok Sabha. In 1970s, her commitment brought her back by protesting against the Emergency Rule 1975. She died on December 1st, 1990. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Dhanush to speak about Mahatma Gandhi.
A warm welcome to everyone present here. I'm going to talk about a great freedom fighter, Mahatma Gandhi. It is indeed a rare to someone create a great impact on the nation as Mahatma Gandhi did with India. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, who has the honorific Mahatma added to his name, was an Indian lawyer, politician and anti-colonial nationalist. Furthermore, Gandhi came forward with highly successful non-violent resistance against British rule. Moreover, this man was inspired by several civil rights and freedom movements across the world. Mahatma Gandhi was a huge advocate of non-violence. In fact, we can safely say that he was the originator of principle of non-violence. Furthermore, he was the first person to apply his concept on such a massive political scale. This man always preached people regarding the importance of ahimsa or non-violence. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Varsha to speak about Lal Bahadur Shastri.
I'm Varsha going to speak about Lal Bahadur Shastri. Lal Bahadur Shastri was the second Prime Minister of India. He was a great patriotic and freedom fighter. He dedicated his life to serve for his country and his people. He was a senior leader of the Indian National Congress Party. He was the first person to personally awarded the Bharat Ratna. Lal Bahadur Shastri was born on 2nd October 1904 in poor family at Mudal Singh, Uttar Pradesh, India. His father's name was Shastri Prasad, who was a school teacher, and his mother's name was Ramdulla Devi. He belongs to Kaita family. His father died when Shastri was 1 year old. Lal Bahadur Shastri was educated at Mudal Singh at Varanasi. He graduated in. He was given the title as Shastri. Shastri joined in Indian national movement in 1991. Sastry began to take part in political at earlier age. Sastry was deeply inspired and influenced by Gandhi. He became a loyal follower first of Gandhi and Jawaharlal Nehru. In 1951, in 1951, he was elected the General Secretary Indian Congress Committee. He became a railway minister in 1951 to 56. After the death of Jawaharlal Nehru, Sastry became the Prime Minister of India. His slogan was Jai Jawan Jai Kisan. Hail the soldier, hail the farmer. It was very popular during the war. The enemy gave a bad defeat. Sastry died on 11 January 1996 at Tuscan. We will never forget his selfless service. He will always be content as a great leader of our country. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Arun to speak about Bhagat Singh.
Hi friends, I am Arun Kumar. At first, I wish you a very happy 74th Independence Day from my bottom of my heart. I am going to give speech on Bhagat Singh. He is considered to be one of the most influential revolutionaries of the independence movement. In 1923, he won an essay competition set by the Punjab Hindi Sagatya Sammelan, writing on the problems in the Punjab. Bhagat Singh was a prominent freedom fighter in the independence movement. He was born on September 20, 1907 in Punjab, India to a Sikh family. Bhagat Singh's dad and uncle were freedom fighters, which inspired him to join the movement. He devoted his life to the independence movement at the age of 13. Bhagat Singh was a national symbol of patriotism and made significant contributions to get freedom from British rule. He worked articles for the Kirti Kisan Party's magazine occasionally. He was profoundly disturbed by the Hindu-Muslim riots, became a athletics after that. He was charged guilty for killing a British police officer. He was executed on March 23, 1931 along with his comrades Rajguru and Sukhdev. He was a brilliant student and avid reader and took part in all extracurricular activities. Thank you.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Kishore to speak about Jawaharlal Nehru.
At first, I wish you happy 74th Independence Day from my bottom heart of my heart. I am going to speak about Jawaharlal Nehru. Trusty with Density was a speech delivered by Jawaharlal Nehru, the first Prime Minister of Independent India, to the Indian Constituent Assembly in Parliament on the event of Independence India. Toward midnight on 14th August 1947, it spoke on the accept that transcend India's history. It is considered to be one of the greatest speeches of 20th century and to be landmark oration that captured the essence of triumphant culminations of Indian independence struggle against British empire in India. Long year ago, we made trust with density, and now the time comes we shall redeem our pledge. Not wholly or full measure, but very substantially at the stroke of the midnight hour. When the world sleeps, India will awake at the life and freedom. A moment which comes but rarely in history, when we sleep out from the old to the new, when a age ends, and when the soul of nation long suppressed find utterance, it is fitting that as the solemn moment we will take the pledge of decision to the services of India, her peoples and still longer cause of humanity. That future is not we have so and the one we will take the today. The services of India mean the services of the million who suffer. It means ending of poverty and ignorance and the disease and inequality of opportunity. The ambition of greatest man or our generations has been wipe every tear from every eye. That may beyond us, but as long as fear and suffering, so long our work will not be over. And so we have labor and work hard to great really to our dream. Thank you, Ananda.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Amuda to speak about Vettudial.
இணையதளத்தின் மூலம் இந்நிகழ்ச்சியில் பங்கு பெறும் பேராசிரியர்கள் அவர்களுக்கும் மற்றும் என்னுடன் பயிலும் மாணவர்கள் அனைவருக்கும் என் இனிய 74ஆம் ஆண்டு சுதந்திர தின நல்வாழ்த்துக்கள். நம்ம சுதந்திரத்துக்கு பாடுபட்டவங்க அநேகரா இருக்கிறாங்க. அதே போல நமக்கு அநேக ரத்த சிந்தி உயிர் தியாகம் செஞ்சு நிறைய பேர் நம்ம சுதந்திரத்துக்காக பாடுபட்டு இருக்காங்க. அதுல ஒரு பெண்மணியின் பேர் தான் வெட்டுடையாள் என்பவங்க. இவங்க எந்த போராட்டத்துக்கும் போனதும் இல்லை, எந்த சிறை தண்டனைக்கும் போனதில்லை, போர்க்களத்தை இவங்க சந்தித்ததும் இல்லை. இவங்க எப்படி நமக்காக அவங்களுடைய உயிரை தியாகமா தந்தாங்கன்னா, ஆங்கிலேயருடைய படை வீரர்களுக்கு தப்பி வேலு நாச்சியார் அவங்க திண்டுக்கலுக்கு போறாங்க. போற வழியில கள்ளக்குடி என்ன காட்டு பகுதிக்கு போற சொல்ல ஒரு பெண்மணி ஆடு மேய்ச்சி கொண்டு இருக்கிறாங்க. அவங்க ஒரு சிறு பெண்ணு ஆடு மேய்ச்சி கொண்டு இருக்கிறாங்க. அவங்க பேரு தான் வெட்டுடையார். அவங்கள பார்த்துட்டு அவங்க கிட்ட தண்ணீர் குடிச்சிட்டு வேலு நாச்சியார் அவர்கள் அவங்க கிட்ட சொல்றாங்க, வெள்ளைக்காரருடைய படை என்ன பின்தொடர்ந்து வருது, அவங்க என்ன பார்த்துட்டாங்கன்னா கொன்னு போட்டுருவாங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அந்த தண்ணி கொடுத்ததுக்கு நன்றி சொல்லிட்டு போயிட்டாங்க வேலு நாச்சியார் அம்மையார் அவர்கள். வெட்டுடையாளுக்கு கொஞ்ச நேரம் கழிச்சு ஆங்கிலேயருடைய படை வருது. வெட்டுடையாள் கிட்ட கேக்குறாங்க, என்ன கேக்குறாங்கன்னா, இந்த நாட்டின் அரசி வந்தாங்களா, இந்த வழியா போனாங்களா அப்படின்னு கேக்குறாங்க. உடனே நான் சொல்லிருக்கலாம்னா, நம்மளா இருந்தா நான் சொல்லிருப்பேன்னா தெரியும், ஆனா எதனா சொல்லி மழுப்பிருப்பேன். ஏன்னா அவங்க ஆங்கிலேயர் நம்மள அடிமைப்படுத்தி கொண்டிருந்த காலத்துல அவங்கள நம்ம கொஞ்சம் பயந்து இருந்திருப்போம். ஆனா அவங்க கொஞ்சம் கூட சிறிதும் பயம் இல்லாம என்ன சொன்னாங்கன்னா, எனக்கு தெரியும் ஆனா நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. இதனால ஆங்கிலேய படை கோபம் அவங்க மேல நிறைய நீ சொல்லலைன்னா உன் கை காலையே நான் வெட்டி போட்டுருவேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. அவங்க சிறிதும் பயம் இல்லாம என்னை கொன்னே போட்டாலும் நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்ன உடனே பேசிக்கிட்டே இருக்க சொல்ல 2 கையை வெட்டி போட்டிருக்காங்க. உடையாளோட கையை 2 கையை வெட்டி போட்டாங்க. திரும்பவும் கேக்குறாங்க ஆங்கிலேய படை உடையாள் கிட்ட. அவங்க சொல்றாங்க, இந்த நாட்டின் அரசியை காப்பாத்துறது என்னுடைய தலையாய கடமை, என் உயிரே போனாலும் நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்ல அவங்க 2 காலையும் வெட்டிடுறாங்க. வெட்டின பிறகு அவங்க குத்துயிரும் கொலையுருமா இருக்கிற அந்த நேரத்திலயும் கூட உடையாள் ஆடு மேய்ச்சிருக்க பொண்ணு அந்த உடையாள் சொல்லாம இருக்காங்க. திருப்பியும் கேக்குறாங்க, நான் சொல்ல மாட்டேன்னு சொன்ன உடனே கழுத்தையும் வெட்டிடுறாங்க. கழுத்தை வெட்டிட்ட பிறகு அவங்க இறந்து போயிடுறாங்க. இப்போ தன் கை தனியா கால் தனியா இருந்த போது கூட அந்த உடையாள் என்ற பெண் தன் தேசத்துக்காகவும் தன் மக்களுக்காகவும் தன் அரசிக்காகவும் உயிரை விடுகிறான் அந்த உடையாள் என்ற பெண். அதுக்கப்புறம் கொஞ்சம் சில நாட்களுக்கு கழிச்சு வேலு நாச்சியாருக்கு இந்த விஷயம் தெரிய வருது. அவங்க ரொம்ப கலக்கம் அடைஞ்சிட்டு 8 வருஷத்துக்கு பிறகு மீண்டும் இது சிவகங்கைக்கு வராங்க. சிவகங்கைக்கு ஹைதர் அலி, திப்பு சுல்தான் போன்ற படை வீரர்களை எடுத்துக்கிட்டு சிவகங்கைக்கு தன் கணவனை கொன்ன அந்த 2 ஆங்கிலேயர்களையும் கொன்னுட்டு அரியானை ஏறும்போது அவங்க அரியானை ஏறல, நேரா படைய அந்த கொல்லக்காடு என்ற காட்டுல விட சொல்லிட்டு அங்க நமக்காகவும் நம்ம நாட்டுக்காகவும் தமிழர்களுக்காகவும் ரத்த சிந்தி அந்த உடையாளுக்கு கோவில் கட்டிட்டு கண்ணீர் அஞ்சலி செலுத்தினாங்க. பிறகு அவங்க விலை மதிக்க முடியாத அந்த வைரத்தாலையும் காணிக்கையா போடுறாங்க. பிறகு அந்த வேலுநாச்சியா அவங்க உடையால குல தெய்வமாக வணங்கினாங்களாம். இப்படி நம்மளுக்கு அவங்க வாங்கி கொடுத்த சுதந்திரத்தை நம்ம பேணி காப்போம், போற்றி காப்போம்.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. Next, I welcome Jennifer to speak about education system.
Every single bird wishes to stay in the tree, not in the cage. I wish all the Indians a happy Independence Day. Let me introduce myself. I am L. Jennifer, studying second year BCom General. Yes, it is 74th Independence Day for our India. Our tricolor flag flies freely for 74 years without salary. Our India has given great scientists, popular politicians, noble teachers, brave sportspersons, etc. Our country has given a great CEO for Google. I mean Sundar Pichai. Our country had a Padikada Medai Kamarasar, who opened many students' eyes in the educational aspects. Our country even had a fantabulous scientist and a remedious president. Yes, it is Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. His dream about our nation is India as a developed country in 2020. It depends on our nation's education rights. If you are a student, you need a boost of motivation, or if you are a teacher of any kind, you want to inspire and make a change in the lives of your students. Education opens up the mind, expands it, and allows you to improve your life in so many ways. Yeah, here I would like to conclude my speech with short thought. Students are the future pillar for a country. So, we are the architect should use many different designs to construct the pillar. With a grateful heart, I sincerely thank my ma'am to offer me this wonderful opportunity with a hope in a developed India. Jai Hind. Thank you everyone. Thank you all.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. I welcome Narmada to speak about patriotism.
Good evening to one and all present here. My name is Narmada. Now I am sharing something about the patriotism to you. Patriotism is a boon, enthusiastic love and attraction with the motherland. The love between a patriot and the motherland has no any greed or self-interest, but an ambition to satisfy his life for the snack of the motherland. Patriotism is a force which brings the people of the country closer and invents to stand in unity and to die together. It instils the people to think and do unitedly and not individually. By the power of unity and patriotism, the nation can face and defeat any enemy and stand on the earth like a pillar whose foundation is deeper in the earth and higher up to the sky. Those who have no love with the motherland are dangerous for the nation and the country as well. Such people always wish fulfill their eternal will and they do not hesitate to make the motherland weak. So narrowed mind people interpret the wrong concept of patriotism. So it is essential for the other and we should prevail love, unity, help and happiness among the nation. And we should make our world a heaven on the earth. We should clearly understand that our motherland is a gift for God for our untiring efforts and we must save and prospect it. The same can be fulfilled by the patriotism. Thank you for the wonderful opportunity given by the staff and my dear wish happy Independence Day. Jai Hind.
Thank you for your wonderful speech. I welcome Blessy Angel to give vote of thanks.
Good evening to all. I am Blessy speaking here. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to place on record our hearty thanks. First, I wish to thanks for our Honorable Head of our Department, Ms. Yashoda Ma'am. Next, I wish to thanks for our staff members, Mr. T. Lebna Rani Ma'am, Mrs. S. Uma Mageshwari Ma'am, Mrs. P. Satyashila Ma'am, and my dear students. I feel honored and privileged to get an opportunity to propose a vote of thanks on this year's Independence Day program. It has been a great day and we have had beautiful programs by the students who have all organized and helped in making the special day even more glorified. I want to thank all the students who have put in an effort to make the celebration a success. I want to thank everyone for their involvement and their willingness to take on the completion of program beyond their comfort zones. Almost 73 years have passed since India achieved independence. Independence Day in India is celebrated with great enthusiasm on 15th August every year. On this special day, especially I wish to express my gratitude to Head of our department, Ms. Yashoda Ma'am, for providing encouragement to the students. Thank you for giving such a wonderful opportunity. I would like to thank all the staffs and speakers, those who have participated in this program. I am proud to be a citizen of India and feel responsible to celebrate such glorious days. I thank every one of you for making this celebration a success. Happy Independence to everyone here. Thank you.